$11.9 trillion. In one quarter, that's more than the entire GDP of Germany moving through a single stablecoin. But here's what's really wild. It's not even the biggest story. The biggest story is who is winning. And the answer might surprise you. Circle just dropped their Q4 2025 results, and the numbers are almost hard to believe. 75.3 billion in USDC now circulates in the market. That's up 72% from last year. Meanwhile, traditional banks are bleeding deposits. But here's what the financial media is mostly missing. This isn't just about one company. It's about a fundamental shift in the stablecoin wars. And USDC isn't just winning, they're running away with it. Let's talk about that $11.9 trillion in on-chain transaction volume. That's a 247% increase, more than tripling from the prior year. This isn't some crypto niche thing anymore. Every single second, millions of dollars are moving through USDC 24/7 with no bank holidays, no closing times, no waiting for wire transfers to clear. The cross-chain transfer protocol alone handled $41.3 billion, up 3.7x year over year. The infrastructure is already here, and it's eating everything in its path. Now here's where it gets interesting. JP Morgan analysts specifically called this out. USDC grew 72%, while USDT, the so-called king of stablecoins, only grew 32% in the same period. That's not a small gap. That's a routing. USDT still has more total market share, sure, but USDC is growing more than twice as fast. Why? Two words: transparency and regulation. Every time USDT gets hit with another audit controversy or regulatory warning, institutions quietly move their money to USDC. It's happening in slow motion, but it's happening. And this is where Coinbase comes in. You see, Coinbase wasn't just an early supporter of USDC, they were a founding partner. And that partnership is paying off massive dividends now. Every major institutional player holding USDC, they're doing it through Coinbase Prime. The custody, the trading, the yield generation, Coinbase handles it all. Combined with Circle's regulatory wins, fully MiCA compliant in the EU, Genius Act passing in the US, we're looking at a future where regulated stablecoins aren't just tolerated, they're the standard. When people can hold digital dollars that are transparent, regulated, and yield 3.8% on a platform they already trust, why would they stick with the old guard? Let's make this concrete. With $75.3 billion in USDC outstanding and a 3.8% reserve return rate, Circle is generating nearly $3 billion a year in interest income. Their Q4 revenue hit $770 million, up 77% year over year. EBITDA surged an absurd 412%. Meanwhile, your savings account is probably giving you 0.5% if you're lucky. Traditional banks have brick-and-mortar branches, compliance armies, and legacy systems. Circle has code and treasury bills. The efficiency gap isn't competitive, it's existential. Here's what's wild. We're not even at the end of this story. Circle expects 40% compound annual growth going forward. The Genius Act just established a regulatory framework that favors exactly what Circle is building. And with Coinbase handling institutional adoption, every major financial player is one integration away from offering their customers 3.8% on their dollars overnight. The only question left is how fast traditional banks can adapt before their customers leave. And right now, they're not adapting fast enough.